There comes a time when one must take a position that is neither safe nor politic, nor popular, but he must take it because conscience tells him it is right. Good morning, IMSA, and welcome to our Martin Luther King Day celebration. I want to recognize Representative Barbara Hernandez, who's here with us. Please give her a hand. So I was visiting classrooms last week, and I remember seeing this quote, and I'm thinking about coming here. I noticed that there's a Martin Luther King quote in one of our classrooms, and this is the quote. There comes a time when one must take a position that is neither safe nor politic, nor popular, but he must take it because conscience tells him it is right. And I hear this, and I've gone to many of these Martin Luther King celebrations, and I always wonder, how is it that Martin Luther King, teenager, became this titan, this giant of a man? And often I think, we think that it's just instantaneous, that there was no process. And so I wanted to just spend a little bit of time thinking with you about what experiences formed him. What were the things that made him who he became? He was born Martin Luther King Jr., but now he's got a statue, he's got celebrations, he's got all kinds of, he's a legend, right? And so, Maria Popova, in a newsletter that I get called Brain Pickings, talks about the paradox of our culture, that it expects instantaneous growth. There's no process, just product. And she says the flower doesn't go from bud to blossom. Yet we crave overnight success stories. We want to be the person who everyone knows about without doing the routines, the actions, the habits, the hard work that it takes to get to be that person. We have no interest, as Maria says, in the tedium of blossoming, in the incremental ripening by which we become who we are. We're not interested in the action, the steps, and the routines, and the habits, in the innumerable tiny choices, the imperceptibly small steps by which we pave the path to our own destiny in the very act of walking it. And that reminded me of a poet that I love, a poem from Antonio Machado. And he says, "Caminante, son tus huellas el camino y nada más. Caminante, no hay camino, se hace camino al andar. Al andar se hace el camino y al volver la vista atrás se ve la senda que nunca se ha de volver a pisar. Caminante, no hay camino, sino estelas en la mar." Antonio Machado was one of the Spanish poets who was known as part of the generation of '98. And this poem is translated as this: "Traveler, your footprints are the only road, nothing else. Traveler, there is no road. You make your own path as you walk. As you walk, you make your own road. And when you look back to see the path, you will never travel again. Traveler, there is no road, only a ship's wake on the sea." So how did Martin Luther King become who he was? By being in his immediate being who he was, and those little experiences he had, the prejudices, the racism he experienced, led him to become the person who we would quote as saying, there comes a time when one must take action, must take a position that is neither safe nor politic nor popular. He must take it because conscience tells him it is right. I received an email which I never received regarding a speaker, so I wanted to give props to both the speaker and PME will introduce him later, but Dr. Gregory Larnell class from the same class sent me an email, and I wanted just to point out something that he said in the email. He said, because this pertains to what I just talked about, he said, "I want to add that Jason is among the vanguard of IMSA's outstanding alumni, and I am proud to have been a student while he was there. A student leader with such obviously great potential, he had a considerable impact considerable impact on the culture of the school at the time and on the student body while he was there. See what I'm saying? That while he was here, he's already the man he has become now. He continues to evince and exemplify the IMSA ideal. And so I was thinking, who influenced Martin Luther King Jr.? And one of those influences was Howard Thurman. Howard Thurman wrote a book called Jesus and Its Inherited, but he is often quoted as saying, don't ask what the world needs, ask what makes you come alive, and go do it. Because what the world needs is people who have come alive. So today we will begin our session with Mod 21.
S.O.U.L Creations is a non-profit, community-oriented, educational agency based in Evanston, Illinois, whose mission is to blend academic, social, and cultural elements to educate, empower, and validate youth. They provide numerous opportunities from workshops to lectures, but today they're performing with their African drums. African drums date back to the 12th century and have a powerful history where they were and still are used to communicate, celebrate, mourn, and inspire. Please give a warm welcome to the S.O.U.L Creations.
Good morning, everyone. All right, it's an honor to be here. My name is Dr. Logan. I'm the founder and the former executive director of S.O.U.L Creations. And there's three of us here today. And before we get started, I'd just like to say that was a perfect introduction because these drums, I've been very fortunate. I've worked and lived in 23 different countries. And while I was living in West Africa, most of these drums were obtained over there and we brought back here to the US. So these particular drums, most of them come from the Kingdom of Mali, which is in West Africa. Some of them originate from Ghana and also the Ivory Coast. But there's a long tradition that these stem from. And what we're going to do today is to provide you all a very brief demonstration, and then we're going to ask you all to get involved. You all for that? Okay. So I'd like to introduce Mandingo Guadalupe, one of our artists. We have Mia Logan. And I am Dr. Logan, and currently I serve as the president of Logan Consulting Services, so we are a leadership and diversity consulting firm. So that's what I currently do. So these drums are played for three very basic general reasons across the continent of Africa. Now, of course, we're talking about more than 50 countries, more than 1,000 different ethnicities, but in general, there's three reasons why they're played. For one, is to honor the Creator. Whatever that name goes by, however someone may conceive that, but the drums are played to honor the Creator. Secondly, they're played to honor the ancestors. And thirdly, they're played to tell a story. So today we're here to tell the story of Dr. King. He talks about being a drum major for justice, and a drum major must be active, and you must be a leader. So we're going to actively get you all participating so we can develop your leadership skills. Are we ready? Okay, let's do it, S.O.U.L Creations. big dance floor. Now we need 20 participants.
Yo!
How about you all choose? Yes, so we can do this really quickly. That means, may I have your attention? You're saying, yes, you have our attention. I go. Amen. Okay, good. So whenever I need your attention, that's the call and the response. I go. Amen. Since you all are highly talented and extremely skilled, we're going to give what would normally take a 3-hour lesson in like 3 minutes, because they got it like that. So these drums here are the djembes. These are all hand drums, and what you want to do is hold it between your knees, tilted forward, and you're holding it with your legs, not your hands. So find a comfortable position. You can cross your legs, you can put them in the front, whatever's best. Okay, and there we have the Jun family. So those are all stick drums. So we're going to do a simple call and response. You all are going to repeat after me on the drum. We're going to talk to you on the drum. So you play what I play, we'll warm it up, and then we'll get to a rhythm and we'll close it out. How about that? Okay, thank you. Make sure I'm not alone here. If you have rings, you want to take those off. You can't erase them. Don't destroy your jewelry on the drum. You have your back straight, elbows out. Fingers on the drum, thumbs on the outside. Okay. Put your left hand on your left knee. Palm with your right hand. So we're going to try to... That was good. That's good stuff. I'm going to go both together, okay? There we go. See? Okay, here we go. You're doing this well. You're joining us too. Eyes closed. Okay, please give it up to the S.O.U.L Creations drum troupe. And if we had more time, we would give each one of you all involved. So I apologize for that. But in the interest of time, there are other aspects to this event. So thank you all for the honor to be here. Thank you all for your energy that you brought to the music. And let's all be a drum major for justice as we honor Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Logan and S.O.U.L Creations. Can we please give them another round of applause? With all the limitations that the English language puts forward, we often find difficulty translating our thoughts and emotions into words. However, despite language's inability to have a 100% success rate, poetry as a collection of words, sounds, and emotions can tell stories, portray events, and push people to feel emotions that words alone cannot do. And that is why, for the second year in a row, we've called for you, the students, to create poetry involving what MLK means to you, to enter into a contest judged by our very own faculty for the opportunity to win a cash prize to perform at this assembly. With that being said, would Dr. Dong, I, Dr. Kalarjic, and Ms. Niccolo please rise? Each one of you on behalf of Pure Multicultural Education for taking the time out of your busy lives to judge and select the winner of our poetry contest. Your efforts are greatly appreciated. In addition, I would really like to say thank you to Denzel Muhammad, who hasn't worked extremely hard helping us put this contest and assembly together, but has been an outstanding advisor for PMB as well. Now, it is with great pleasure that I introduce you Ariel Asllani, performing her poem as the winner of our poetry contest.
Hi guys, as you may know, I'm Ariel Asllani. I'm a sophomore at IMSA here, and I'm so honored to have been given this opportunity to say my spoken word for you guys. I cannot say that I have it bad because I have the kind of skin you can still see during the night. I cannot say that I've had an ongoing treacherous fight. Maybe it was the moment I learned about Newton's law, where an apple first fell from a tree and Newton discovered the law of gravity, and I wondered, when African Americans fell, no one discovered their humanity, and why is it that 4 to 5 shades says my mindset is right? Why is it that 4 to 5 shades have deemed me alright? 4 to 5 shades that says my mindset is right. So when I look around me and see lines, divisions, barriers, all these uncertainties, I remember King's fight to be free, to take down these walls between you and me. His dare to speak of revolutions along with forward movements and resolutions, so that hopefully one day we'll take off the blindfolds. One day we'll put down the guns. One day we'll make peace. One day we'll shake hands, so that our divided states of America will be united once again.
Thank you, Ariella. That was a fabulous performance. Hello, everyone. Hope you're all doing well today. Today, I have the pleasure of introducing our keynote speaker, Jason Wiley, to speak on topics concerning his experiences and how these connections may tie into our understanding of Martin Luther King Jr. Day. If you do not know already, Jason is one of IMSA's very own. Jason Wiley is a marketing executive with over 15 years of experience in brand management, sports, entertainment, and the tech industries. During his time attending IMSA, which to us may seem very long ago, he was an O2C resident all 3 years, was a former PME board member, and the 1999 class president. To say he was a role model is an understatement. However, he did not allow his leadership, time management, and communication skills end with his time at IMSA. Through much hard work, dedication, and branding skills, Jason secured his dream job working for Bad Boy Entertainment soon after he graduated. Within a couple years, he was recruited by Jive Records and served the position as Director of Marketing, working on a diverse portfolio of projects. Soon it seemed as if he could not stay away quite long enough and was asked to return to Bad Boy as the Vice President of Marketing. Jason was now responsible for the overall branding and the direction of the label and numerous artists. After much demonstration of his skills in the entertainment industry, Jason decided to extend his expertise another step further. Jason began to consult and help other companies build and create successful marketing strategies through the development of a cutting-edge marketing company called the Bridge Agency. While you may think it is uncommon for an IMSA student to aspire and find success in the music industry, Jason has proved that it is not impossible. It is simply a matter of honing your skills, working hard, and not being afraid to pursue what you want. Now, without further ado, will you please help me welcome Jason Wiley to the podium.
It wasn't that long ago. I just it wasn't that long ago. So first, I want to say thank you to the staff, the faculty, the students for having me here. It is a great honor to be back at IMSA. I can't explain to you how much I love this school, this institution, and what it has meant to me throughout my years of life. And next, I want to say thank you to the great performance before me, the poem, and everyone who has spoken. It's kind of made me more nervous to be up here in front of you. It's been a lot. So I was expecting not so much before I went, so that I wouldn't be so nervous. Now I'm a little more nervous than before. To start off, though, I feel like music is a very important part of who we are as a culture, as a society. It brings us together. It captures our emotions. It is something that we use. For me, while I was at IMSA, I woke up to music and I went to bed to music. Kind of upset my roommate a little bit, but then he got used to it. We were roommates for all my time here, so he began to appreciate it as well, but music was very important to me. So, with that in mind, right, we're going to I want you all to greet your neighbor, right? Say good morning, say hi, give a hug. First thing I love to do is to say, good morning, hi, how are you? It makes me feel connected to the people that I'm experiencing that moment with. That's my roommate. All 3 years. Jason and Jason. Yeah, it was a very special time here, right? I just want to make sure you understand that I know what it feels like to be here. And sometimes you feel alone, sometimes you feel scared, sometimes you feel nervous. And I was very fortunate to have someone that I can always talk to, that I can always depend on. It was very much a part of the reason why I was able to be successful here. Because I found someone who could be a shoulder to lean on. And so for 3 years, it was this guy, Jason Russell. And today, he lives a mile away from me in New York City. So we're still, to this day, always talk. We golf together. We talk. And it's about support, right? Life is not about you as an individual, but you as a community. And IMSA was very much so, and continues to be, a big part of my community. This was my life at IMSA. So, let's just start off. You are the smartest and brightest ever. We're just gonna say that. I'm okay. I know it, you know it, so that's our baseline, right? Our baseline is that you are the smartest and you're the brightest in this world. Not in this room, not in this country, but in this world. You are. So if that's our baseline, where do we go from there? I know what you do in your dorm rooms. That's the part that might not be the smartest or the brightest. Yeah, I was there too. I had food fights. I took trips with PME to New Mexico on a train. That was like 24 hours on the train. Not nice. I was on a basketball team. I participated in IMSA. I took advantage of the opportunities that were afforded to me, and I made sure that I extended beyond the classroom. Because as you move on from this place, it is not just about how smart are you, how bright are you, how intelligent are you, how much can you learn, but how impactful are you to your community and to those around you. So, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. He was born January 15th, 1929. He was unfortunately assassinated on April 4th, 1968. He was 39 years old when he passed away. When he was 34 years old, he won the Nobel Peace Prize. And he was awarded $54,200. And with that $54,200, he bought a Ferrari, he bought a mansion, he bought some gold, he bought a Louis Vuitton purse for his wife. He was living it up, except he didn't. He took that $54,000 and he donated it to the civil rights movement. Now, you might say, what's $54,000? Well, today it would be around $500,000. So instead of using that money for himself, he used that money for the people that he was fighting for every day, right? And so Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. was very impactful on me. I remember as a young man, a young boy, not that long ago, okay, my mother introducing me to Dr. King. I was 5 years old when I saw the first video of Dr. King marching in the streets, being hosed with water, being beaten. And I was 5. And my mother said, it is very important for you to understand that there are people before you who fought for the right for you to be you. And that was hurtful, right? It was hurtful because I was a happy kid. I'm still a very happy person. Like, I wake up every day and I'm excited about the day. I'm excited about the possibilities. I'm excited about what's to come. I'm excited about what my daughter will become. I'm excited. But at 5, to learn that people were beat, were brutalized, were hurt, just because they were who they were, it was very hurtful to me to think that that is a possibility in this world. But it still exists. It's not done. There aren't people who aren't struggling today. There aren't people who aren't being beaten, who aren't being brutalized for being themselves. That continues, even after Dr. King fought for the rights for all of us to be who we are today. And so I wanted to be a little more like him. I wanted to learn his teachings, who he was as a human being, who he was as a scholar, and figure out how I too can participate in that. So I learned that in college, he joined a fraternity called Alpha Phi Alpha. And I was like, yeah, I'm gonna do that too. I mean, if he did it, it must be something good, right? So I became an Alpha man too. Yeah. Like, it was the one step in me being able to touch him and to feel him and to be a part of something that Dr. Martin Luther King was a part of. I visited the museum in Atlanta. I've taken the steps that he's taken. I wanted to understand the things that he went through and how I can sacrifice to make not only myself better, but to make my community better, my world better, and the future better. And I decided to join this fraternity as well, and I thought this would be great for me. And then all of a sudden they began talking about community service and what are you doing for your fellow man and how are you helping high school students go to college and what is your return to society. And I was like, what are you talking about? I did this for me. And they were like, no, we only do this to help the next behind us. We only do this to help make our community stronger, to make an impact in this world that provides a better place for the next generation. So as I stand here before you, I ask that of you as well. How will IMSA look when you leave? How will IMSA be when you are no longer here? I think it is important and it is a necessity that all students who attend this school think about that. Think about how they leave this place that gives so much to you. So it is true, you are the smartest, you are the brightest. I will never, ever, ever contradict that. But I do wonder, how are you as a human? How are you as a person? And how are you to this community and to those that will come after you?
And help welcome our honored, distinguished guest, the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King.
Mr. Williams, members of the faculty and members of the student body of Barrett Junior High School, ladies and gentlemen. I need not pause to say how very delighted I am to be here today and to have the opportunity of taking a brief break in a pretty busy schedule in the city of Philadelphia to share with you the students of Barrett Junior High School. And I want to express my personal appreciation to the principal and the administration for inviting me and for giving me the opportunity to see this very fine and enthusiastic group of students here at Barrett. I guess I ought to start out with a commercial, and that is tonight we're going to have a great night in the city of Philadelphia at the Spectrum. Now I know you've heard of that new impressive structure called the Spectrum. And I know you've heard of Harry Belafonte and Aretha Franklin and Nipsey Russell and Sidney Poitier and all of these other great and outstanding artists. Well, they're going to be here tonight at the Spectrum. And I hope that each of you will go home and tell your parents to be there tonight for this great Freedom Festival. And I hope you will come also, for it will be a great experience. And by coming, you will be supporting the work of the civil rights movement. Now that I've gotten the commercial out of the way, I'll move on and say some things that I want to say very briefly. And I'm being very honest, I'm going to be brief because I have other engagements. I don't have a tradition of being brief all the time. You know, I'm a Baptist preacher. We can talk a long time, but I'm going to really be brief today. I want to ask you a question, and that is, what is in your life's blueprint? This is the most important and crucial period of your lives.
I wanted to show that speech because it was to a high school. It was to students your age. It showed a little bit of his personality. It talked about the period in time. But he also talked about the importance of where you are today and what is your life's blueprint. Where are you going to go next? And what are you going to do? And how are you going to do it? I also understand that in order for you to become better, right, the people, the teachers, the faculty, and the staff around you have to push you, motivate you, and work to make you better. So, before I get to you, I want to talk to just the staff, the faculty, the people around you, the adults. Dr. King states, the function of education is to teach one to think critically. Intelligence plus character, that is the goal of true education. It is not only about learning 1 plus 1, 2 plus 2. I know you're way beyond that. But it is also about learning to be a better character, to be a better person, to be someone that is dependable, that is honest, that is trustworthy, and that looks out for your fellow man, woman, person, who might not have the same life as you. I'll tell you, as many people know, I am a person who loves himself. I want my daughter to come here. We live in New York. It's going to be problematic, but I do. I just think this is a wonderful institution. But I do say that there were moments and times that made me really upset, sad, hurt while I was here. So, my junior year, there was a problem happening at IMSA. The Black and African American students that attended this school were dropping out at an alarming rate. There was a student that tried to commit suicide. There was a student who left in a non-traditional way. There were students who were failing. There were students who no longer wanted to be a part of the school. So the Black and African American students decided they needed to have a meeting in one of the dorms after classes to discuss what was going on, to figure out what was the problem and present not only the problem, but possible solutions to the administration. They needed help. They did not want to see their friends and their loved ones to leave this place, to hurt themselves, or to feel unwanted. And what happened was, one day, I got called into an office, and I was asked to sit down, and I was asked to stop the meeting. Now, I was a junior. I wasn't a part of the administration. I wasn't a part of the staff. I wasn't an adult. I was a junior here. And I was asked, you are doing very successful here. You love it here. You have great grades. This meeting should not happen. And I was hurt. I was very sad. Because administration wasn't listening. There was a problem. And the problem that was happening, no one could put their finger on it. No one could necessarily say, this is exactly what the problem is, let's fix it. And the students were taking it upon themselves to try to have a discussion, open, honest, where people can feel safe and secure to express their true feelings. And administration was very upset by this. They called it exclusive, and that it was problematic for the school and the institution of IMSA. Well, as a junior, I sat there, I listened, I took it in, And it took me a minute to formulate my response. I wasn't aware that I was being called into the room. I didn't have a response ready. And so what I said was, you're right. I am successful here. My grades I have great grades. I'm president of my class. I'm on the basketball team. I'm doing really well. But clearly, others aren't. And if there are others who aren't doing well, then we have a serious problem here. So just because I'm doing well doesn't mean that everything is okay. So as students need to sit and need to talk, and I will be a part of that, there's clearly a problem here that we need to address if we want to make IMSA better. And I left the room. Now, I don't know what happened after that. Might not been in good graces for a while. But it was important for me, for myself, to understand that just because I'm doing well doesn't mean that others aren't. And it doesn't mean that a problem doesn't exist. And it doesn't mean that it's not my responsibility to also listen to what others have to say, to help to make things better, and to address the issues that are in front of them as best as possible. So, as I sit here and I look around at the many beautiful faces, the amazing students, the wonderful learners that you are, I also look at the faculty, the staff, the teachers, the adults here who help to push you, to make you, to help you be the best person possible. And I ask them to listen to those who cry out loud, to listen to those who whisper in a room to themselves, that if one hurts, we all hurt. And it is very important that we all listen to those that hurt. Now to you students, I'm not going to leave you out. Dr. King had a lot of quotes, a lot of speeches that spoke directly to you. I have taken the time to pull out 2 references, but there are many more. An individual has not started living until he can rise above the narrow confines of his individualistic concerns to the broader concerns of all humanity. The ultimate measure of a man is not where he stands in moments of comfort and convenience, but where he stands at times of challenge and controversy. It is important for you to be the support system, the advocates, and the voice of each other. IMSA was amazing to me because there were so many moments in my life that I can remember back where there was a Pakistani, an Indian, a Filipino, a Taiwanese, a Mexican, a black, a Nigerian, a white, an Indian student, all in a room talking about, well, never mind. We won't talk about that. O2C was a very unique place. But we were talking. And especially on Tuesdays, when you had a free day on Wednesday, and not necessarily everyone chose a very scientific study to do on Wednesday, so we spent late nights up having dialogue about, let's just say, Napster, and how much music you could download. Yeah, I just dated myself. And how great the T1 connection was. And so, in those moments and times, I wish I could get them back. There was so many different people with different voices, different perspectives, different ideas, different wants, needs, cultural references, and we all sat together. We all talked. We all interacted with one another. The only thing that we knew is that we were all smart. And we were kind of pompous because of that. I mean, we were, and I know you are too. But the important thing for us was that we were all students here at IMSA. Not where you came from, not what culture you were, not what sexuality you were, not what race you were, but just that you were a student here and you had an idea. You had a reference point. And so we talked, we listened, we understood, and we tried our hardest to ensure that the environment that we created was one that was safe for all of us, and that was respectful for all of us. And anytime someone expressed a concern, an issue, a problem that they were facing here at this school, we all tried our hardest to support that person, to help them, to figure out what way can we provide them a better opportunity with their problem sets, with their math, with their life, with the things that were happening at home, with the things that were happening here, with how much life was changing and how fast things were moving, and what was possible for them to be able to be successful here. We didn't ask how much money did your parents make, where did you come from, what things made you who you were, why you thought the way that you thought, and that we didn't want you to be there. Instead, we asked, why do you think the way that you do, and how can I learn from that? How can I understand that? What is there and what is possible from our interaction that we can both walk away feeling better, being better, and understanding that it is our responsibility to do better. So, I say to you, it is very important to me, it is very important to my family that IMSA is a place that is loved, respected, and cherished in the world, because I do want my daughter to be here. I do want my daughter to wish that she attended IMSA. It is hard for alumni to come, to listen, to be on different chat groups, and hear about things happening at IMSA other than being the best place for all its students. We all care. All of the alumni who attended this great school, this amazing high school, care. We care about each other. We care about the school. We care about you as future students, as future leaders. We care about the staff, the faculty, and everyone who helps to continue and make this school thrive. But it is hard when we don't hear that things are going well. It is hard to not understand why that is the case. And what I want to strongly urge is for the students to use your voice, use your power as a support system to help and ensure that you help one another to be the most successful and be the best that you can be. Dr. King did not fight for himself. He fought for the civil liberties of all. No matter what race, creed, sexual orientation, person that you were. His dream was that we all be equal, successful, and have the right to exist as ourselves, not as someone else. I want you all to be the best you that is possible. That you is going to be completely different from me. It's going to be completely different from the person sitting next to you. And that is okay. But you have to remember that this world is made up of a lot of individuals, and it is our responsibility to ensure that we are helping all individuals to not only be the best them that is possible, but to also be in a place that they feel safe and secure, and a place where they can thrive, to be as individualistic as they want, and to be a part of a community that recognizes the need to ensure that that community exists for all futures. future people, persons, aliens, whatever comes next. We have to all make sure that we're doing what is within our ability to make that a possibility. So, I look to you. You're the future. You are, as I stated, baseline being the best, the brightest in the world. But I ask you again, and I urge you, how are you being the best human, the best support system, and the best person to ensure that this community thrives and that all people feel like they are seen, heard, and free to be themselves. And so I leave you with the graduating class of 1999, all the individuals, all of the people, all of the loved ones, all of the ones that I care about, as individual and as great of a community as we were, we all still exist, and we all still look to you to be the best that you can be. Thank you.
I know, where'd the music go? I was enjoying that as well. Thank you, Jason, for that inspiring and challenging, not just the students, but the adults as well. So one of the quotes you had up talked about, from Dr. King, was that you really haven't started to live, I'm paraphrasing here, you really haven't started to live until you move beyond your individualistic concerns and move to the broader concerns of humanity. Dr. King also talked about a beloved community. And I don't have time this morning to interrogate that deeply for you, but I urge you to look at and understand what Dr. King was talking about when he talked about the beloved community. And let me just give you a hint. It was not about a bunch of individuals seeking their own individual destiny and concern for just themselves. The beloved community is a community of folks who are pursuing his dream as he laid out for us, okay? So we're in a community, right? IMSA is a community. And so I'm asking and challenging the students and staff and faculty, the adults in the building, for us to all band together and create a beloved community that is moving beyond our individualistic concerns and looking out for the concerns of all of us. And for students, you start that here, so that when you leave here, you're already practiced and competent in that. All right? So I hope that you'll join me in continuing to try to create Dr. King's vision of a beloved community starting right here at IMSA.